Off we go from the Superdome in New Orleans. Weems from 2 yards deep, going to bring it out. And get brought down to the 23-yard line. Been hit to start the game by Pearson Prelo out of Virginia Tech. Bring out Matt Ryan out of Boston College. Grew up in Philadelphia. Offensive Rookie of the Year in the NFC last year. Very strong performance. His numbers still good again this season. Just seeing a little bit less help from the running game. And a little more pressure on Ryan to get the job done.
Yeah, Mike, I always look at that interception to touchdown ratio. Still very good for Matt Ryan. Very judicious with the football.
Ovi Mahele, the fullback, is active and playing. Question mark right until game time. First run, Michael Turner, a couple of yards. After an official gain of 3, second carry, Turner up the middle. And Michael Turner takes it close to midfield. A guy who had a huge year last year, tackled by Roman Harper after a gain of 22.
Well, it's been well documented that Michael Turner has struggled in recent weeks. But here's just a nice zone cutback play. They get up on the second level, and Michael Turner, he needs to get hot for the Falcons tonight running the football.
What was surprising, it was Brian Finneran, number 86, in the backfield, and Ovi Mahele, the fullback, split out wide.
After Turner's second longest run of the year, first designed pass of the night, Ryan gets out of the tackle box, throws it over the line. That's incomplete. Charles Grant was putting on the pass rush. He and Will Smith off the edge for this group that's forcing 3 turnovers a game. Hargrove and Adele in the middle. Jonathan Vilma-Smart, the former Jet, good at the middle linebacker spot. Second year in New Orleans. Love the way the secondaries play. Greer and Porter at the corners. Harper and we mentioned the veteran Darren Sharper. Turns 34 tomorrow. 60 interceptions. 9th in NFL history. Ryan, 2nd and 10. First pass caught, Michael Jenkins. 6th-year wide receiver, shown the sideline by Porter. 3rd and 3 coming up.
I like what Mike Mularkey has done, offensive coordinator of the Falcons, to start this game. Back-to-back runs with Michael Turner, a quick bootleg to move the pocket for his young quarterback, and a quick 3-step drop. Beautiful start for the Falcons.
And it gets the Falcons in that manageable 3rd and 3 situation, John. But everyone in the box looks like they're coming, and they're going to back out.
Ryan got a good block from Finneran, who was in the backfield, and a completion to Roddy White for the first down. Tackled by Jabari Greer. Good job picking up the pressure.
What a tremendous catch by Roddy White. Pressure on the outside, the bump and run. You'll see it from Jabari Greer, but the big size of Roddy White at 6 foot, 208 pounds. The throw slightly behind him, but great body control by Roddy White. Look at the hands, strong hands to snag that ball. First down, Falcons.
Got the back end of the ball there as it was cruising on through. Good opening drive. Atlanta had a great opening drive at Dallas last week. Turner, no gain. Roman Harper makes the tackle. 4th year out of Alabama.
Well, here's Greg Williams, the defensive coordinator of the Saints, getting involved. Take a look over here on the strong side of the formation. Roman Harper's going to blitz. He's going to be unaccounted for. And usually good football players that aren't blocked make tackles.
There's Greg Williams, the defensive coordinator. Matching wits with Mike Mularkey, the offensive coordinator. Those guys were back-to-back coaches in Buffalo, head coaches of the Bills. 2nd and 10. Ryan has time. Complete. There goes Gonzalez, the future Hall of Famer. Big gain. 27 yards to the 13.
Well, here he comes, the first joker of the night. They put Tony Gonzalez in motion, and the blitz comes away from the motion. And if you can pick it up, and you can get defenses with 3 deep and 3 underneath, Tony Gonzalez knows where to find these spots against zone defenses, and you can see he can run after the catch just like he did in those Kansas City days.
And there was some confusion by the Saints defensively. They end up getting Tony Gonzalez on the backup linebacker, Marvin Mitchell.
Justin Peel, the tight end, the block on the edge for Turner, who got the corner and has the opening touchdown. din has been silenced by the Falcons in 8 plays.
How about that for an opening drive? Mike Mularkey goes to 3 tight ends. There's some confusion in terms of who has what gap, and Michael Turner bounces it all the way back to the outside. And wait till you see Roddy White blocking on the perimeter. That's big time.
So Jabari Greer down. Jason Elam adds the extra point. Michael Kanan with the kickoff. He's the punter for the Falcons. It's a huge leg, and we'll get no return out of Courtney Roby. Breeze and the Saints take over from the 20. Here's another Michael. Mike Bell, 4 to the 24. Jevis Jackson makes the tackle. Breeze is the quarterback, making his 113th start. The start last week against Miami with good numbers, but those 3 interceptions, part of the reason that New Orleans fell behind early on in the game.
But Drew Brees showed incredible resilience when they needed him in that second half. He came through. That was a big win for the Saints last week.
Another run with Bell, made a good cut to the left. He gets a first down out to the 34. Gain of 9. Thomas Deku, safety, made the tackle.
Well, they call Mike Bell the hammer here because of the way he finishes runs. It's well blocked. Mike Bell bounces to the outside, but watch his pads lower at the point of contact. This guy drops hammers on defenders. They love Mike Bell here in New Orleans.
Every run of his ends with a collision.
Free agent signee remembers time in Denver. 677-yard season. Pierre Thomas is the running back. Breeze's first throw is a catch for Lance Thomas for about 4 yards. He's healthy and has 26 catches, averaging 12 per grab thus far. Now Bush in the backfield. Here's Reggie. Starting to the outside. He's tackled by Shockey at the top of the screen, 3rd and 4. Breeze time. Shockey got it. First down.
That's where Drew Brees just kills you. He motions the receiver across the formation and then takes a look at the defense. He sees he has Jeremy Shockey over there to his left, one-on-one. He gives him a hand signal. That's why I call that guy Shockey a joker. He can line up anywhere and beat anybody. And he's healthy and he's playing great.
Used that body so well on the safety. Deku there. Pierre Thomas runs in. Ty Hill is in the cornerback and a gain of 8.
The big difference in the Saints this season from past years is the running game. They've always had the passing game with Drew Brees. Now you're seeing the power running game. You can see with Pierre Thomas as well as Mike Bell. And now Sean Payton can dial up those runs and keep his offense on schedule.
Sean, who's coached in New York and Dallas and Philadelphia as an offensive assistant before this head coaching job. Breeze complete. They cleared out space for the other tight end, David Thomas. First down to the 28-yard line. Nice job by Thomas protecting Breeze.
Take a look at Drew Brees in the pocket. Watch his eyes. He takes his eyes off the defense with the play-action pass, but he sees the field. He doesn't like his primary receiver. He knows where to go with the outlet. And look at the location, Jaws. A foot in front of his numbers.
And the Falcons better get some pressure on Drew. It will be a long night.
After a gain of 11, Reggie Bush on the edge. Wrapped up and brought down by a former first-round pick, Ty Hill. Remember him with the St. Louis Rams? Kind of flamed out there. Didn't do a heck of a lot. Traded here.
You know, the thing with Sean Payton and this Saint offense is, man, does he know how to start games. They scored 4 touchdowns on their opening drive already and a field goal, and they're well on their way to more points. This guy knows how to start games.
One guy they're missing here in the lineup, Heath Evans, their fullback on injured reserve, out for the year. Kyle Eckel just signed this week. Threw the block for Mike Bell on a 2nd and 7 run. It'll be 3rd and 4.
Kyle Echols with the Philadelphia Eagles a year ago. Obviously, with Heath Evans going down, the Saints had a need to someone to fill in that fullback spot. Echo comes in on like Tuesday or Wednesday and getting a lot of action tonight.
They called me Italian Stallion.
Out of the
Philly guy. Yep.
Out of the Naval Academy, he was twice the MVP of the Army-Navy game. Play adjusted, 3rd and 4. Get to this run with Thomas, who got past the first tackler and goes in. Touchdown, New Orleans.
They can just beat you so many different ways. If you want to play a lot of coverage, Drew Brees is going to see the 2 deep safeties. He's going to audible to a running play. And if Pierre Thomas and Mike Bell continue to run the football like they have early this season, I don't see anybody stopping the Saints.
In all due respect for all those play calls, Shevis Jackson must make the tackle, and it's a 1-yard gain.
Michelle Tafoya down the sideline tells us that a beer bottle was thrown from the stands onto the field. So that's the delay for the moment before we get out the extra point by John Carney. The veteran kicker knocks it through. One of 3 men in NFL history over 2,000 points. Oh, somebody likes to say you like to see championship teams answer a score with a score. Is that true, John?
Indeed. That was impressive. But, you know, when you look at the drive, they had 3 different guys carry the ball, 4 different guys catch the ball, and it's a 10-play, 80-yard drive. Outstanding.
Yeah, 6 runs, 4 passes. They responded to Atlanta's first drive of 4 runs, 4 passes. Boy, when you have balance on offense, it's hard for the defense to zero in.
Michelle told you about or told us about the beer bottle thrown on the field, so it's a kickoff from the 15-yard line that is run up and taken by Finneran. That's going to be great field position for the Falcons at the 46-yard line. Matt Ryan and the Falcons take over at their own 46-yard line. The 15-yard penalty on the kickoff, just to be clear, was for celebration by the Saints, not the beer bottle being thrown on the field, although that should be flagged, to be honest with you. In any case, now you know why the good field position for Atlanta. And a Turner run for a couple of yards with Roman Harper making the tackle. Tony with 28 catches now on the season. They bring Turner back to the backfield and run with him to the left. Jonathan Vilma waiting. And Turner able to squeeze it across midfield. We'll have 3rd down coming up.
And Mike, as I've watched this Atlanta offense so far through the season, they've changed the dynamic of their personnel. They use 2 tight ends now. 44% of the time they're on the field together. That's the most of any team in the National Football League. So clearly those 2 tight ends are going to catch more balls if you have 2 of them on the field. And Tony Gonzalez certainly has changed that. But it's not only a short passing game. They will send Tony Gonzalez deep. He still has a great skill set.
3rd and 4, 5 defensive backs. And Gonzalez from the top in motion. Flag down as Ryan gets rid of it. Incomplete, but the Saints were getting antsy up top. First flag of the night. Our referee is Jeff Triplett.
Offside, number 50 in the defense. The 5-yard penalty.
And he's just checking to see if it will be a first down. It should be.
Results in a first down.
Thank you. Marvin Mitchell, the linebacker came in the nickel situation, jumped.
Well, take a look at it. It's clearly going to be an open side blitz, and Marvin Mitchell just jumps the gun. And Michael Malarkey and Matt Ryan do a great job with the snap count on 3rd down. They'll snap it quick. They'll use a hard count. They vary it. You got to concentrate better than that.
Play action. Ryan steps up in the pocket but cannot escape the rush of Will Smith. 40th career sack for Smith.
This is great to see from Will Smith. We all know about his contract, but let's see him work here against Baker, the left tackle. He gets the outside edge, and he still has foot speed, Jaws. And Sam Baker's got to get that done. Matt Ryan's got to climb in the pocket, but you can't give up the corner that quickly.
Yeah, there's only a 2-receiver route, so they had eight offensive players in the block, still got the pressure on Ryan.
2nd and 12. Ryan turns and throws a little bit high and incomplete. Intended for Michael Jenkins, who will have another pass rush situation coming up. You heard John mention Will Smith, first-round pick out of Ohio State in 2004. The contract you referenced was 6 years, $70 million in 2008. And everybody expected 10 and a half, 14 sacks. Well, he had 3. And people were a little down on him, but he has picked it up here this year. He had sports hernia, and that surgery in the offseason really slowed by that injury last year. 3rd and 12, they go quick that time, but only rush 3. Still get Ryan. Will Smith, Anthony Hargrove.
What a terrific changeup by Greg Williams, the defensive coordinator. We've looked at the Saints all week long. 57% blitz in passing situations. So the first real passing situation they get into, what do? They bring 3 and drop 8 into coverage and still get the pressure on Matt Ryan and force a punt by the Falcons.
Lance Moore goes back to return the punt. He's even more sure-handed than Reggie Bush, and the punter, Michael Cannon, gets great hang time on his kicks. And Moore makes the fair catch of a tough-to-bring-down ball at the 8th.
And a fabulous come-from-behind win, and that will pay huge dividends down the road. You put that one in the reservoir, because somewhere down the road, you're going to fall behind, and you know you've done it already. You can come back. That will build your confidence.
Drive start from the 9 with a flag down. Breeze has a shot. Off the hands of Shockey and almost intercepted by Stephen Nicholas, but he couldn't bring it in. Comes down incomplete. We'll check the flag at the line of scrimmage.
Offside. Defense, number 95. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
On Jonathan Babineau, be 1st and 5. As a coach for Sean Payton, what does a comeback like last week do for you for the rest of the year?
Well, it just tells you have a team that has football character. When you have guys that never quit and play their best football when they're behind, that's something you can really use down the stretch. And remind your guys, we have what it takes when things get tough.
You coached the team from down 24-3 1 year ago today. Did you know that?
We want to.
Happy birthday comeback! Won in overtime, 30-27. Breeze hit and lost the football. Touchdown for Bierman. Troy Bierman out of Montana, able to pick it up after Thomas Deku knocked it out. And a turnover touchdown, and the Falcons jump back on top.
And Drew Brees took a shot from Thomas Deku, freed the ball. Deku coming on the blitz. Here he comes late. Ooh, bang, he gets a shot on Drew Brees. Jars the ball loose. Bierman picks it up and takes it in. That was that delayed blitz. He came late and put a lick on Drew Brees.
Deku, 2nd sack of his career. He had one last week against Dallas. And Troy Bierman gets his first NFL touchdown. A sack specialist out of Montana. But the pressure by Deku able to free it up for Mike Smith's team to take the lead.
Well, Mike Smith is an outstanding defensive coach in his own right. And Brian Van Gorder, his defensive coordinator, was with him in Jacksonville. They talked about coming in here and hitting Drew Brees. Spontaneous blitzes. The Falcons are a team that doesn't blitz a lot. And right there, Deku showed you why they moved Lawyer Malloy out of here. They wanted to get younger and faster at the safety position. And Deku, he just blurred the screen right there with a big-time hit.
That was 1st and 5, too. You know, so you're thinking offensive advantage down, and the pressure brought by the 2nd-year man, Deku, another 2nd-year guy. Bierman with the touchdown. That's part of what's happened with this Atlanta defense. John just mentioned Lawyer Malloy. Grady Jackson's not here anymore. Keith Brookington, Dallas. They had success, but they're trying to build a young team, and some of that youth made 2 plays right there.
Yeah, and you talk about Mike Smith, the head coach, and Thomas Dimitrov now has come in and really taken over building this football team. Mike Smith on the field coaching his team, but there's a vision now. It's not, hey, what are we going to do right now? They're building his team for the long haul, not just a quick win. And you see the young players, the early round draft choices, starting to make significant contributions for the Falcons.
Another deep kickoff. What an advantage Michael Kanan is in the punt and kickoff game. No return.
A lot has been made about the Saints defense generating turnovers. They came in with 18. Well, Atlanta had 13. They're up to 14. Both these defenses thrive on taking the ball away.
Breeze a fake to Bush. Drifting back. Able to find Devery Henderson in front of Ty Hill for the first down game.
Drew Brees does such a wonderful job of processing information. The play design was to get Jeremy Shockey out in the flat. You'll see the toss over to Reggie Bush. Fake. He comes out. Now he's looking for Shockey. Not there. So now he comes to his second receiver. That's what Drew Brees can do. Find alternate receivers almost as well as any quarterback in the game.
Saints bringing an extra offensive lineman, Zach Streif, who reports as an eligible receiver. Here's this on that end, blocking. Bush goes the other way. Reggie trying to get out the back door, but a push in the back is likely going to bring back this first down game.
They might get Meacham, the wide receiver, on an infraction here.
Holding. Number 80 of the offense. 10-yard penalty. Still second down.
Trying to help Reggie get that corner turn, and that's where we see Reggie Bush so often in this New Orleans offense, guys. Outside the hashes, even outside the numbers, on the edges of the field is where they want to get him the ball. So the flag makes it 2nd and 12 for the Saints. Thomas to the right, and good tackling that time, led by Eric Coleman, the safety.
I'm seeing the Atlanta Falcons blitz a lot more than I've seen in recent weeks, especially strong side blitzes to the tight end. Take a look at it. They're stabbing linebackers and forcing a play to bounce to the outside, and you can see that Falcon speed on defense. It's really showing up. But Brian Van Gorder, the defensive coordinator, is clearly trying to get something done with pressure on early downs.
Yeah, and Eric Coleman did a really terrific job of just filling to the outside and making the play as those linebackers bounced it outside.
Pushing the game for 3rd and 10. Here comes more pressure, and Breeze throws complete for the first down to Marcus Colston. Marcus forward progress across the 30, but there is a marker down in the secondary.
Illegal contact. Number 23 in the defense. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is a first down.
One of the big matchups tonight is John Abraham versus Jermon Bushrod. And here's Abraham bull rushing against the youngster. And Drew Brees does a great job getting the ball out. But Bushrod is going to have his hands full all night. And they're going to try to get Abraham some good looks.
One final snap of the opening quarter. It's Thomas. The air spins. It's about 5. The first down run brings us to the end of an entertaining first quarter. Two teams atop the NFC South. Atlanta leading the undefeated Saints 14-7 after 1. Second quarter underway. Mike Tirico, John Gruden, Ron Jaworski with Michelle Tafoya on the sideline. Falcons win here. They're just a game out in the NFC South. Saints win. They are up 3. Mike Bell starts the quarter with a first down run in the arms of Stephen Nicholas.
I'll tell you one thing about the Saints. They have 6 completions already to 6 different receivers. And these guys are so much different than one another. I can't believe it. They have 2 big guys. I call them the beasts, Shockey and Colston. They have two blazers, Meacham and Henderson. They can fly, and they got two bolts, Lance Moore and Reggie Bush, guys that can quickly get in and out of cuts.
And Drew Brees.
Another B. Looking for space here. He got hit and had it knocked away. Curtis Lofton was hanging on Drew and forced it out. Vance Walker making his NFL debut tonight.
Here's another blitz. You're going to see it coming right over here on the weak side. And Pierre Thomas is going to have an NFL down. That's a nice job. But once again, Drew Brees does an outstanding job, Jaws, getting it out of his hands to keep the Saints in second and normal and avoiding the sack.
Yeah, he won't take the sack, and what a job by Curtis Lofton. You know, he's one of those B-words beasts for the Atlanta Falcons. I mean, he brings it.
Kill. 153. 90. Let's go.
Mike Peterson bringing some of the pressure. Brees gets it to Shockey downfield. Deep pass to the tight end. First down, gain of 27.
Well, take a look at this, Jaws. You're going to like this matchup for Jeremy Shockey. Here's a blitz coming off the weak side, and they have a defensive end. Jamal Anderson covering Jeremy Shockey. Great blitz pickup by the New Orleans Saints, and if you can get that type of execution from your backs by Reggie Bush and company, look at that. Anchor down, you get some matchups created. That's outstanding offense by the New Orleans Saints.
Well, Naku made one sack and a fumble. Reggie Bush picked him up there.
Brees pressured, and he's brought down. Sack Jonathan Babineau coming around the end. Boy, they are pressuring Drew Brees here tonight.
There is no doubt Mike Smith has this defense fired up. They know their chance to win this football game is to get pressure on Drew Brees. Check it out right here. Number 95, Jonathan Babineau, goes right around Carl Nix. Good leverage. You love to see a defensive line come with leverage and flip those arms over the top and get the pressure on the quarterback and get the sack.
That's a nice stunt. We call that an ET game. The end goes inside, the tackle loops outside. Saints didn't execute the switch.
What, you make the quarterback phone home, ET? Second and 17 timeout. After the New Orleans timeout, second and 17. Brees has to come back down to Thomas, the second tight end. Got all but one. Gain of 16 for David Thomas. Ex-Pac was with New England last year.
Well, that's the guy Sean Payton is going to lean on. They just lost their fullback last week. The thing about Drew Brees, though, is he knows where everybody is, and he practices like this. Look at him setting up to throw the ball down the field. He resets. He finds that third option. And once again, it's an accurate throw, allows Thomas to run after the catch. That's big time. Poise in the pocket, especially after you've been hit hard a couple times.
John, I'm glad you mentioned practice because we saw Drew Brees do that at practice. Throw the football, then go through his progression. He knew where everybody was on every single play.
We have a timeout called from the back. Let's see. Did not see Atlanta call a timeout. Might be administrative with the clock. As the back judge came running in.
There's a problem with the play clock. It needs to go to 10 seconds, please. 10 seconds.
Let me build upon that Drew Brees comment I made a moment ago. At practice, he would throw the ball to a receiver, then reset himself and go through his progression to every receiver that was in the route. He was repeating the progression every single play at practice. So when he came up in the game, he knew he had that cemented in his mind.
3rd and 1 has been a struggle down for the Falcons, and Bell picks up the first down. 3rd and 1 this year. Falcons' opponents are 11 of 13. So opponents have, it's usually down you make, but Atlanta has not done any job stopping the opponent in that situation.
Well, that's one thing the Falcons have uncharacteristically struggled big time at, and that's 3rd down defense. They're doing an outstanding job on 1st and 2nd down, forcing 3rd down situations, but they're second to last in pro football and getting off the field on 3rd down, and that's surprising.
Yeah, 45.2% converted. That's not good, as you said, 31st.
On the edge of the red zone, Bell gets there, takes it inside the 20 to the 18-yard line. 2nd and 7, Brees to the end zone. Hauled in by Colston. Touchdown, New Orleans.
That's the name of the game. You get Marcus Colson at 6'4", 225 pounds, matched against Ty Hill, who is 5'10", 185. You throw it high enough so only your guy can go up and take it away. Boy, and that's courage. That's courage on the part of Drew Brees to make that throw, because that is tight coverage.
Touchdown catch number 6 on the season for Colston. New game in 14.
Marcus Colston is a beast.
Been 7 minutes on the clock since the Falcons ran a play. Ryan got a slant. Roddy White to the 38. First down gain of 16.
Boy, I like Roddy White. Bump and run coverage. This is another big receiver that's a big-time player. Look at him set him up on the release. He's got a size advantage on Tracy Porter. Roddy White can play.
And Tracy Porter took the worst of that. Tried to get up for a second, but was woozy. So they'll come out and look at the second-year cornerback out of Indiana. Had a terrific start to his rookie season, then hurt his wrist, was out the rest of the year. And very good cornerback here in this NFC South.
Boy, he is playing very well. The fact is, we break down the numbers, we look at the tape. He's been targeted 45 times, only 24 complete against him.
Well, we'll look at Porter, and we'll step out for a second. Saints medical staff has been spending most of this time out talking to Tracy Porter. Look at this. Darren Sharper coming in.
Oh. That's why you respect the guys that play this game right there. That's what they go through.
Wow. A first down run by Michael Turner. He'll take it just over the 41-yard line for Atlanta. And Matt Ryan, who's been just as sharp as Drew Brees thus far.
These two quarterbacks, Matt Ryan and Drew Brees, are outstanding. We know that. When Brees went to New Orleans, I had a hard time with it when I was coaching. But when the Falcons got Matt Ryan, I crawled underneath my table. I was very disappointed to see him show up in Atlanta.
Two good quarterbacks, and the gritty Jake Delhomme, of course, in Carolina. Turner. Oh, good run by Turner into the secondary. Michael Turner, who has been missing compared to his great performance last year, busting out here in the first half. Already 84 rushing yards.
Boy, Mike, you talked about last year he averaged 4.5 per attempt, only 3.4 this year. Well, it's going to be up to 4.5 real quick the way he's running tonight. Excellent vision. That's what you love to see about a running back. Get to the outside. Jonathan Vilma, there's the run through. But Turner gets to the outside. Almost takes it to the house.
37-yard gain for the former Charger. Gonzalez coming out of the backfield as a decoy as they run Turner for 2 yards to the 20. So last year, this Atlanta Falcons team had to hit the reset button. Bobby Petrino leaving, Michael Vick off to prison, and it was a process. Draft a left tackle, draft a quarterback in Matt Ryan, bring in a new head coach there in Mike Smith, and in free agency, they went out and got Michael Turner from San Diego, who was LaDainian Tomlinson's understudy, and all he did was come in and have an all-pro season around 1,700 yards.
They didn't just draft a quarterback, though, and they just didn't pick up a running back. They added superstar players. Watch this guy as his career unfolds.
Aaron Stecker making his Falcons debut out of the backfield, catching the pass. Former New Orleans Saint tiptoes the sideline, gets to the 16. Stecker wasn't a Falcon a week ago, was signed on Tuesday. There's Thomas Dimitroff on the left, who's made so many of these personnel acquisitions. Sitting next to the owner and CEO of the Atlanta Falcons, Arthur Blank.
Mike, I thought a couple years ago we were in Atlanta, we wouldn't get a Falcon game on Monday night for a long, long time. They've really turned their organization around. Props to Arthur Blank and Thomas Dimitroff.
3rd and 4, Ryan's throw is dropped. Michael Jenkins had a chance, couldn't squeeze it. It's an incomplete pass. Saints want a flag on Brian Finneran for hitting Darren Sharper, but there's no way he could have known that. We'll have a field goal opportunity coming.
I think this is one thing that's lacking with the Falcons right now. They have not found a complement to Roddy White. This should be 1st and goal Falcons. Michael Jenkins has got to step his game up. He has dropped way too many passes. Jenkins hadn't scored a touchdown in 14 games. They need more from him. He has the talent to do it.
Well, he's a 6-year veteran. He took his eyes off the ball. That's a cardinal sin.
One of the top veterans, 3-time Pro Bowler Jason Elam from 34. Hit the upright, no good. From the 24, Breeze at work. Complete to Shockey, the tight end, right at the 30. Gain of 6.
I think that's why the Falcons are blitzing more. They're just not getting the pressure that I've seen the Atlanta Falcons get with their 4-man rush. And you're seeing Drew Brees get to his second and third option way too many times, Ron.
Well, that's exactly what he does as well as anyone in the game. He'll sit back in that pocket, bounce, survey the field, and find somebody open. You got to get hits on Drew Brees.
Jeffrey Henderson, the speedster, came around, but they gave it to Thomas, who's got speed of his own. Into the Falcons secondary at the 40. Brent Grimes the tackle, a gain of 29.
And David Thomas, number 85, with a nice seal block to the inside that allowed Pierre Thomas to get to the outside.
Well, here comes Devery Henderson in motion. Breeze is going to hand the ball off to Pierre Thomas, and you see Henderson hold the backside. But here goes Pierre Thomas on another big run. Who is Pierre Thomas? He's had more 15-yard gains than any back in football. This guy's amazing. What a story.
Pinballed around for a gain of 3 yards. On the run, Pierre Thomas in his 3rd year out of Illinois was an undrafted guy. Came in here when they had all the injuries in 2008 and led the team in rushing. And that's what you were just talking about, John. Highest percentage in the NFL. 10 of his 62 rushes, 15 or more, including the touchdown we just showed.
It's amazing. Mickey Loomis, the GM of the Saints, finds more players than I can imagine.
Breeze, 2nd and 5. Lance Moore, another one of those found players for a first down.
Now, these guys aren't even drafted. Lance Moore, Pierre Thomas, and they're all outstanding football players that have come up in this system. And Mickey Loomis, he goes out and trades for Velma. He trades for Jeremy Shockey. He signs Drew Brees, and he and Sean Payton, they work together developing players. And they have become a dominant football team because of that, Ron.
And throw Drew Brees into that mix. They are really synchronized as far as what they want to do.
Going with Thomas, that time he's trapped behind the line of scrimmage, trying to fight away from the veteran Mike Peterson and Jonathan Babineau, who made the tackle. Loss of a yard.
Well, it's about penetration, and that's what the Falcons are going to have to do. They're going to have to start getting some defenders in the backfield to blow some of these plays up, because this Saints running game has been downhill so far tonight. How do you not love Sean Payton, man? He just loves calling plays.
Got a lot of them.
Kill. Like 50, 30, next up.
Breeze, Henderson, Devery on the sideline, flag down. Go back.
Pass interference, offense, number 19. 10-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Well, Mike Smith was out on the field. I think he saw it the same way. You'll see Devery Henderson coming off the ball right here against Brent Grimes. There's the push right there. Pushes him back to create that separation. Good call by the officials.
Yeah, that's a good call. At the top of your route.
Wait, John, what did you say?
That is a good call.
All right.
At the top of your route, cannot extend your arms.
Right.
And Devery Henderson knows that.
We have that on record now.
Two consecutive weeks.
Right.
Number 38, Breeze. Oh, what an interception by Grimes, who went up as he was going for Henderson and snatches it out of the air. Beautiful night here in the Central Business District of New Orleans, tied at 14. Great interception by Brent Grimes, who stepped into the lineup for the injured Brian Williams. Williams out for the year, injured his knee against Chicago a couple of weeks ago on a Sunday night. Wow.
That's a big-time play.
Sure is.
That's some ups.
You know, Drew Brees tried to drop that ball in between the safety and the corner, What a play by Grimes, sinking and timing the vertical.
And Drew couldn't put enough air into that because he had Eric Coleman coming over the top. So he had to kind of get a little drill shot in there.
That offensive pass interference on Henderson, really a big penalty now as Turner twists and turns. And there's been a lot of the conversation in Atlanta. Are we going to see the Michael Turner of last year?
Play clock to 25 seconds. It was reset in error.
Second time we've had an issue with the play clock. You see Turner's numbers 90 yards. Mike Smith saw his running back have 8 100-yard games last year, 1 in the first part of this season. Hey, Tracy Porter hurt on the last drive, back in for the Saints. Had his bell rung, checked him out, checked out okay. He's back. Ryan flushed, out of the pocket, throws it away. Over the line of scrimmage, incomplete.
You know, this Falcon offensive line, not a lot of people talk about these guys. They have a veteran center in Todd McClure, but they're young. Sam Baker at left tackle, Blaylock at left guard, Harvey Dahl at right guard, Tyson Claybo at right tackle. They are mean guys. They are ornery, and they are loyal to one another. And their favorite guy is Michael Turner. Trust me, Jaws, they will get Turner going.
Mean and ornery. I love it, John.
3rd and 6. How many Saints are coming? A whole bunch on the left of the quarterback. Ryan got rid of it to White. But the coverage by Jabari Greer forces an Atlanta punt.
Jabari Greer has had a phenomenal season. I had a chance to talk to Mickey Loomis out at practice on Saturday and watch Jabari Greer just drive this football. I said, talking to Mickey, Greer had been targeted 45 times so far this year. Only 15 balls have been caught against him. Wow, that's 1 out of every 3 against Greer. What a year he's having.
Reggie time. Bush is back deep. Hayden will try to kick it between the numbers and the sideline. Try not to kick it in the middle of the field for Bush. He missed. 42-yard kick. Reggie from the 30. Dancing. Cutting for a 9-yard return with a penalty marker down. Back at the line of scrimmage. Curtis Lofton, that starting middle linebacker for the Falcons, injured.
Holding. Number 52 in the receiving team. 10-yard penalty. First down.
The flag is on Jonathan Casillas. For the Falcon fans, big concern about their star middle linebacker Lofton down there on special teams and now down on the ground after that play. His own guy comes charging in, the other starting linebacker, Stephen Nicholas.
Wow, it's not common that you have an every down linebacker covering punts, Jaws, but obviously this is a huge game for the Falcons, but they can ill afford to lose Curtis Lofton. He is the undisputed leader and captain of this football team. I hope he's okay.
Lofton helped off the field. Coy Wire steps into the middle linebacker spot for the moment for the Falcons. Breeze, 1st and 10 throw is complete to Colston. To the 35, a gain of 15 for Marcus. 2:35 to go and a couple of timeouts for New Orleans.
Once again, a first down blitz by the Atlanta Falcons, and you see the pickup by the New Orleans Saints, and Drew Brees throws a perfect strike to Marcus Colston.
Very interesting. Mike Peterson, who's going to slide over and play that spot, because he's called the signals in this defense before, had, I think, one of the helmets with the radio, because Lofton's the guy who wears that coach-to-player communicator. Bush on the edge, puts his head down and gains about 6 yards. Remember, they gave the defense the ability that the offense has to talk from the sideline to the players. The defensive guys say sometimes it doesn't work. Mike Peterson said, get this helmet out of here. I don't need this. And he got a correct helmet.
Please reset the game clock to 2:02. 2:02. Timeout. New Orleans, their second.
So the Saints take a timeout, try to squeeze another play in here before the 2-minute warning. Second and 3. Breeze bought himself time. Down the middle. Strike to Meacham at the 28. Gain of 30 at the 2-minute warning. Drew Brees adjusted that last play to get the Saints a 30-yard gain, get him down to the 28. That stuff, the guys will tell you how important that is to get everybody on the same page and get him to the right play. Toward Henderson, bring it in. Yes, Devery Henderson. Atones for his pass interference earlier. In front of Chris Houston, a gain of 25.
They're going to go right on the line and run another play, but there you see a stretch catch by Devery Henderson, who just leaves enough room for Drew Brees to drop it in on his sideline.
See if they'll stop it upstairs.
We're reviewing the play.
Yeah, good job. Good job upstairs, as that one was close. And you mentioned it, John. They were running up to the line, catch the Falcons in personnel, try not to get the review. Last 2 minutes, booth review. They'll look at this. Catch one. What comes down next? An elbow comes down inbounds. And we'll just make sure that the ball is held through the catch. You're not going to see the second foot, but you will get the elbow and the tail down.
We're reviewing the play. The ruling on the field is confirmed. It is a catch.
Drew
First
Brees.
down.
They put together a system that they collaborate with on a down-by-down basis. And the trust that Sean Payton has in Drew Brees, I think it's unparalleled in football.
Like the way he talked him into going for that touchdown at the end of the half last week. 4-4 on this drive. First and goal from the 4. Pierre Thomas just shy of the goal line.
Well, we talk so much about this power running game of the Saints, how it's really augmented the passing game. This is when you have to be able to run the football.
Well, I think the Saints have two potential Pro Bowl guards. Left guard Carl Nix, just a second-year guy out of Nebraska, and of course Jari Evans at right guard. You stand next to these guys. They are mammoth, and they love thumping people, especially in goal line situations.
Spread him out. Bush is the back. Reggie on the toss to the edge. Touchdown.
Talk about dimensions on offense. The Saints have them all. The power running game, the outside running game with the satellite Reggie Bush and his lightning package, the short passing game with Shockey, the deep passing game with Henderson. Brees has a lot of weapons to choose from. As John said, one heck of an offensive line.
John Carney bangs through the extra point. Remember, this all happened, we have a penalty marker down at the back end of this 80-yard touchdown drive.
Holding. Number 80, the offense. The 10-yard penalty. Retry.
Darnell Dinkins, so roll that point off as they take a peek at Jeremy Shockey on the sideline as well. Remember, this all happened on the back end of the field goal that hit the upright. You just cannot afford opportunities, even to get the threes against an offense that, you know, what are they, 3 80-yard drives here tonight? Wow.
And the missed field goal was preceded by a drop ball by Michael Jenkins, which would have given the Falcons a first down about the 10-yard line.
So it becomes a 30-yard extra point for Carney. Oh, and they almost got through off the edge with Grimes, but it is good. 288 yards of offense for the Saints in the first half. Thomas Morstead's kickoff brought out by Eric Weems. Ooh, heavy collision at the point. It's Weems out to the 31-yard line. The slot guy, Bush out of the backfield. So many deep threats. The defense is compromised at every turn. And here are the results. 2-minute drill time for the Falcons with only a minute to go. Veron Haynes starts it with that completion, and quickly Mike Smith takes a timeout with 52 seconds left. Falcons will have a couple left.
Big drive for the Falcons here.
I agree with you, Jaws, especially because New Orleans gets the ball first to start the second half. Ryan, intercepted. Going the other way with Jabari Greer. Touchdown! Killer touchdown for the Saints. That is the 14th interception this year for New Orleans. 5 of them have gone back for touchdown, and the Falcons are down 2 touchdowns. Seconds ago it was a tie game. 2 touchdowns in 23 seconds change it. 48-yard return for the former Buffalo Bills, Jabari Greer.
Jabari Greer. Here's the blitz coming at the top of the screen. And watch Jabari Greer. He's just going to read the route all the way. He never backs up. And he anticipates the hook route. And did anybody up here know Jabari Greer could run like this? Here's another outstanding free agent acquisition. How many corners have come out of Buffalo and played great football? What an impact play by Jabari Greer.
Well, what you can do when the pressure came from the left side of Matt Ryan, his tempo picked up. It had to. There was pressure coming. But Jabari Greer understands the pressure's going to get to the quarterback. He's going to have to look to the receiver quickly. I'll read the quarterback's eyes. His eyes will take me to the football. That's exactly what happened. Jabari Greer read Matt Ryan, took him to the football.
Is another former Tennessee guy that can fly. He's got some track stats that showed up right there, man.
Great hurdle champ, NCAA champ in his day. Listen to this place. Joint is jumping.
Matty Ice would like to have that one back.
Short kick, Weems gets it at the 9. To the 34-yard line. 37 seconds left and a couple of timeouts.
Well, you see Roddy White coming in on his turn route, and Vilma buzzes to the outside. I think Roddy White may have a little argument that a little contact while the ball was in the air and couldn't get back to the inside, but no flag was thrown.
Atlanta's got to really be careful here, guys. This crowd is going to be humming.
Ryan still has 2 timeouts. He'll air it out to the sideline through the arms of Jenkins and incomplete. Again, the small things that change games. Who knows what happens if Jenkins holds on to that pass as Atlanta's driving down the field earlier. Instead, they miss the field goal, and New Orleans walks down, gets the Bush touchdown, and the pick 6.
You know, so small plays, you know, within the game that you have to make on a consistent basis. 3rd and 3, you've got to convert on the first down. You got to sustain offense, keep that Saints offense off the field.
First time that a Ryan interception was brought back the distance. Through the hands of Roddy White, and incomplete. It's 3rd down with 27 seconds left, and you don't want to be in a situation where you punt to Reggie Bush.
You know, one of the things with Greg Williams' defenses, guys, is he bewilders quarterback before the snap and after the snap. Take a look at Sharper, the safety, bail out of there and get back to the zone. That's the first down play. That's not the look that we wanted.
Timeout taken by the Saints. Here with 27 seconds left. Want to make sure their defense is all straightened out. So New Orleans used them all now. Falcons still with 2.
Take a look at Sharper. He's the master of disguises. He'll show you blitzes, and sometimes he comes. And a lot of the times, right before the snap of the ball, he retreats to the middle and reads the quarterback. And that's what he told us in a meeting yesterday. He loves playing here. He's not stagnant playing half the field. They move him around, and it really fits this guy's style. He's a great playmaker.
And you know what you love about that situation? It was 2nd and 10. There's 27 seconds to go. Greg Williams dials up the blitz. He brings 6 after the quarterback. He will never let the quarterback get comfortable in the pocket, allow him to stand back there, survey the field, and make a big play. He's going to get hits on the quarterback. And, boy, this has been an unbelievable epiphany that this defense has had this year.
There they go again. Sharper bailing out. Ryan throws complete to Gonzalez, who took a shot from Sharper at the 49. 20 seconds left. 15-yard gain for Tony. And the clock is stopped with a timeout, I believe.
Tony Gonzalez, such a big body guy. You know, you just can't cover him. You'll see Roman Harper come out. He can't hold Tony up. He's too big. He's too strong. You just can't slow Tony down. 13 years and still as productive as any tight end in the league. And, you know, what a class guy. We spent some time with Tony yesterday, and he just wants to go out and play with a winner. You know things weren't going well in Kansas City. It's going to be a while before they get winning again. He just wanted to give himself an opportunity to finish with a winner, get to the playoffs, and maybe get some playoff wins.
He's been to the playoffs 3 times, hasn't been part of a playoff winning team. The timeout was taken by the Falcons. The clock was reset to 21. That why the delay. So 21 seconds are left here in this first half from the 49, Ryan. That was complete to Justin Peel, the tight end. A gain of about 5, and that clock now sits at 16 seconds.
Well, there's a lot of pre-snap activity out of these New Orleans Saints on defense. That time, they rushed 3 guys. Had 3 deep, 5 underneath. Not a lot of places to go with the football. And that's an excellent job by Matt Ryan checking it down and getting a clock stoppage.
He's going to need to get this ball to probably about the 35-yard line. Give themselves an opportunity for a field goal.
Some administrative question here as to where we sit. The line judge, Mike Spaniers, come in. Talk with Jeff Triplett.
Please set the game clock to 10 seconds. 10 seconds.
Well, when it reset to 21 here in the stadium, that's...
Thank you.
It was sitting at 15, so there was a 6-second difference. So the 6 seconds that were put back on apparently were put on erroneously. So take the 6 off, we're back at 10.
The clock operator better make some halftime adjustments.
No kidding. It doesn't happen at home usually, right? The question comes after the Gonzalez catch, who called the timeout and where? And was that the reason that that time was put back on the clock? I just want to make sure that they have 5 seconds is huge here.
Correction. The clock needs to be set back to 15 seconds. 15 seconds. Thank you.
Okay. Hey.
I'd lose my mind right now, guys, I tell you.
Wait, you're making positive comments about the officiating the last couple of weeks.
Let's play the game here.
There we go.
I do think they got it right because that sideline asked for the timeout and the clock kept running and it wasn't called to stop the clock at the proper moment. So frustrating, but I think this is the right thing. Pressure, Ryan slides it out to Gonzalez. They're right at the edge of field goal range here. And Mike Smith is over by the official on his sideline to call timeout with 9 seconds left.
I really like what Matt Ryan did coming back after the interception. Great poise. Move your team right down the field and give Jason Elam a chance to get you something.
Well, I'll say this about quarterbacks in this league. You better have amnesia. That's a trait every quarterback has to have if you're going to stay in this league any amount of time, because you're going to be humbled. You're going to be embarrassed. But you have to forget and come back and make the next play.
Okay, now, Elam has made a 50-yarder against Miami this year. You have no timeouts left. 9 seconds. From here, it's just a shade over 50, right between 50 and 51 yards. with the ball sitting at the 33.
Yeah, this is risky. This is risky. I would have kicked the field goal here. Anything in bounds, you're not getting an opportunity to get 3.
A little cushion on the far side for the moment. Here's Ryan trying to throw to get it to White on the sideline, incomplete. And with 4 seconds left, we'll have that 50 or 51-yard attempt from Elam. Of course, Jason Elam, one of the long kickers in NFL history.
And he had him. He had Roddy White to the outside. He just missed the throw. Mike Mularkey's another guy that has a play for every situation, I'm telling you.
This for the 40th 50-plus yard field goal in his career to tie Morton Anderson with that many 50-yarders. Not a chance. So it's been a bad first half for Jason Elam. Matt Ryan needs to engineer a comeback, or else for the first time in his career, it'll be back-to-back losses. Michael Kanan kicks. Courtney Roby returns. And tackled at 27 by Brent Grimes and Christopher Owens. It's a big drive here for the Falcons to start the third quarter. You can't fall behind 3 scores to these guys.
It's very important that they hang on to the ball for a long time, too, because the Falcons have not stopped the New Orleans Saints. They have got to possess the football on offense, and it's going to be a challenge.
Well, what's killed the Falcons has been third down. The Saints are 4 for 4. That's 100% of converting third down to first down. Their offense not on the field enough. Their defense is playing way too many minutes. They've got to make some third down stops.
It's 100% that 4 for 4. I don't know if you...
Yeah, did I figure that out?
That. Yeah. Freeze from the 28 to get it going. And goes to the left side for Henderson. Incomplete. Here's Michelle.
Well, guys, Sean Payton let the officials know he was not happy with all those clock changes just before halftime. He told me, I just want to know where that extra 6 seconds came from. But in the locker room, he was planning on telling his team that ball protection was paramount, and also look for him to mix up coverages to protect Drew Brees, mix up those line protections. As for Mike Smith, he said their biggest disappointment was missing their field goal attempt, but he wants his defense to get off the field on third down. He said, we forced 2 turnovers. Brees just keeps finding receivers. They're a good football team.
Darn good. We agree. Thomas left. Nice open field stop by Eric Coleman, leader of the secondary in his 6th year.
Coleman has done an outstanding job of coming down from that safety position, making tackles on the edge. There have been some big opportunities the Saints had, but Coleman has made the plays.
Nice play. You know, Coleman played free safety last year. He's moved to strong safety with the departure of Lawyer Malloy, and it's a different ball game. But this guy's a very versatile safety. He can hit, he can cover, he can play the entire game. He's a good one.
Big down. Let's see what the Falcons do. 3rd and 8. They have Curtis Lofton, their middle linebacker, back in the game. Abraham was held, and the pass is incomplete. He spun around Jermon Bushrod.
Yeah, they're going to get Bushrod here for a hold.
Holding. Number 74 in the offense. The penalty is declined. 4th down.
Abraham's an outstanding rusher. They're looking to double him. You see Thomas try to chip, but Abraham beats Bushrod quickly to the inside, and that's a matchup problem all night long. We talked about that in the first half. John Abraham is the one Falcon that can really generate problems up front.
Eric Weems back for the first punt of the night for New Orleans from Thomas Morstead. Rookie at SMU's got a huge leg. 47-yard kick from the 23. Weems brings it back about 4 to the 31. Well covered by Marvin Mitchell. You see those 3 Saints running off to the sideline? Well, Matt Ryan and 2 other guys just came on right before the ball was whistled ready for play. Sent Jenkins and Weems at a backup wide receiver, Marty Booker over there. It's one of the interesting chess pieces of the Mularkey against Greg Williams match. And after this play, John will explain what goes on and why it happens. From the 32, here comes Matt Ryan, and the Saints free play, man in the neutral zone, and the pass is incomplete, intended for Tony Gonzalez. Saint moving early. This will be flag 7 on the Saints.
Offside, number 94. That defense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
So what's the deal here?
Well, at the start of a new possession, the last thing Mike Mularkey wants Greg Williams to know is what personnel is in the game. So he masks his personnel and disguises it as well as any offensive coordinator in the league. He learned that from Sam Weiss, I got a feeling. And sometimes he can really keep defenses off balance.
1st and 5. Good first half for Turner. That 5 yards will get him up to 94 yards.
Drew Brees, 88.2% complete. Wow, that's a half.
15 of 19. Ryan's throw, they wanted a flag in the backfield for a hold as it was thrown out to Michael Turner, and that flag does come down where Will Smith was rushing.
Number 72 of the offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
Sam Baker, first-round pick, the same year as Matt Ryan.
Yeah, and you'll see Sam Baker, number 72. First, you got the hands to the face to start this, then the arm right around the throat, pulling him down. I guess you can only call one foul. You can't call two.
You know, Will Smith is working Sam Baker. He got him twice in the first half. He's off to a great start here early in the third quarter. And these penalties against the Greg Williams blitzing scheme and this noise, they kill you.
First and 20, and Ryan throws incomplete as Jenkins was trying to work back to the ball.
The one thing you notice as the pressure begins to build, the pressure from the defense on Matt Ryan, starting to pick up his tempo, playing a little faster, not feeling that comfort level in the pocket, playing a little frenetic. He's going to have to calm down a little bit, trust his line is going to give him time, and allow his receivers to get open down the field. But that's human nature. You start getting hit, it starts affecting you.
Second and 20, here comes the blitz. Picked up, Ryan taking a deep shot for Roddy White. Oh, he caught it. White, I think, faked Greer out and took it to the end zone for a touchdown. 68 yards, Roddy White gets the Falcons back in it.
That ball dropped out of the dome here at the Superdome in New Orleans. That was a big old, deep, high-arcing throw. And a terrific job by Roddy White locating the football. You'll see Greer in the coverage. That ball's way hanging up in the air. There was some incidental contact. Roddy White makes the catch. That's the first touchdown pass Jabari Greer has given up all season long.
Great blitz pickup by the Atlanta Falcons. And when you get a one-on-one situation, Roddy White can make you pay. That's big-time blitz pickup by the Atlanta Falcons.
Jason Elam adds the extra point.
Sure talk about Philly a lot. You know that?
That guy,
I live there.
That's a guy who knows Philadelphia. Sean Payton was quarterback coach when you were offensive coordinator.
Yep.
Come on, John, you were my boy when you were coaching there.
Right back in this game, important game. 2-game lead for the Saints in the NFC South, and they had momentum taken away for a moment. Courtney Roby bringing it back down the sideline. The kicker, Kanan, a nice job to push him out of bounds, shy of the 40. All right, back to that touchdown shot. Ryan to Roddy.
You know, a lot of these receivers in the NFC South, they don't get the attention they deserve. There is a little jostling, to say the least there, but I always give the tie to the receiver. I love Roddy White. This guy's going to be the third. He's going to go over 1,000 yards 3 straight years. This is a big-time football player. Big time.
A little jostling.
First down from the 38. A run with Mike Bell will not go anywhere. The ball spits out. They say the ball was whistled dead with progress and no gain for Bell. And this Atlanta defense, 3 and out to start this second half. See if they can back that up.
I got a feeling Mike Smith went into halftime and got his defense's attention. 288 yards and a half against the Mike Smith defense doesn't happen. They've come out here, got a quick stop, and they're off to a good start in this series also.
Second and 10, Breeze throwing complete to Colston. The middle linebacker, Curtis Lofton, makes the tackle. It'll be third down. We mentioned Lofton was hurt earlier. Second year out of Oklahoma. He's been passed a torch here from Keith Brooking. When Brooking, a longtime Falcon, went to Dallas, he sent him a text message and said, it's your time to be a leader. He's got Mike Peterson next to him on many downs, 53, who was the middle linebacker when Mike Smith, the coach, was the defensive coordinator in Jacksonville.
All right, the Saints were 100% the first half. Let's see if the Falcons can finally make a stop on third down.
Third and 4, Shockey underneath, got it, first down, matched up on the linebacker, Nicholas.
That's stealing. Drew Brees and Sean Payton are schooling the Falcons right here. They put a receiver in motion. Watch this. Here goes the corner with Henderson, and Brees just takes a look at it, and he says, hey, wait a minute. There's a linebacker over there covering Jeremy Shockey, and they just audible to a slant. There's no way Stephen Nicholas can cover the Joker, Jeremy Shockey.
Hey, great pickup. Fourth catch, 55 yards, Shockey. Extra lineman in the game to block for Bell. Play action, Breeze. Looking toward Meacham on the sideline. Catch or no? Yes, catch. 26, first down. Gain of 17.
What a terrific throw from Drew Brees once again on the boot to the outside. You'll see it is a catch.
Left knee down, inbounds. Saints came quick to the huddle just in case the Falcons wanted a challenge. Run Mike Bell inside the 20 to the 19-yard line.
And he trusts his receivers. He believes they will make plays for him. And so far tonight and all season long, they have.
From the 19. In and out of the hands of David Thomas. Incomplete. Here's third and 3. Going back to Thomas. Good play by Brent Grimes to get on over him in that Falcon red zone defense. Once they got inside the 20, able to do it in coverage and force a field goal attempt.
And a third down stop by the Falcons. And did they need that one? You'll see Breeze try to squeeze this one in there, but Grimes in good position, reaches to the inside and knocks it away.
That's where your jokers, those big-bodied, long-arm guys, are so good at bodying people. Shockey and Gonzalez get to those, you know. 37-yard field goal from Carney. The 45-year-old in his 21st year in the league. Missed it right, no good. Wow. Side of 40 yards. So it's still a 7-point New Orleans lead. And Ryan complete to Roddy White. Gets it across the 40 for a first down.
That is the timing and rhythm that Matt Ryan brings to this Falcons offense. It's that skinny post that everyone talks about. And you'll see Matt Ryan, the top of that drop, sets up. That ball is out in 2.1 seconds. Receiver makes that break at 12 yards with the outside foot, and that ball is caught at 19 yards. That is exquisite timing.
19-yard gain sends White over 100. And Turner, he spins across midfield and gets close to the 100-yard mark on his own.
You know, Mike Mularkey, the offensive coordinator for the Falcons, is giving the Saints a lot of different looks. Ryan Finneran, a wide receiver, running back into the fullback position, cutting off the backside. All you hear about all week is Greg Williams, all the volume he has in his defense. And Mike told us last night, hey, they're going to have to defend us. We got a lot of stuff, too.
That's why they call it defense.
Here's another example. End up with a little bunch down here on the left. Bring Turner, the fullback, to the backfield. And no gain. Jolan Dunbar over there. We should mention that Scott Fujita, one of the linebackers for the Saints, out again for the second week in a row with a calf, while you're seeing more of Dunbar tonight. Here's Scott.
Good player. Saints have had a couple tough injuries. You lose Cedric Ellis, Scott Fujita. That's two big-time players in your defense. But Mike Mularkey has them on their heels right now. Big third down.
Usually Gonzalez time here, 3rd and 5. Tony just motioned inside. throws to Roddy White. Crossed underneath Gonzalez and incomplete. Covered across the field. Brings up 4th down.
And it was Darren Sharper from his safety position coming with the heat on Matt Ryan. Forced the errant throw. You'll see number 42 cleaning at Matt Ryan. If he would have had a little more time, he had Roddy White coming open on the shallow cross. But once again, Greg Williams dials up the pressure and gets home.
Keenan very good at pinning the opponents inside the 10. Be tough for Bush to get a return chance here. Reggie calls for a fair catch at the 15.
Cincinnati, number 5.
Yep.
Ooh, awesome.
Brian Kelly's done a great job there. Guy out of Purdue, Breeze, finding space, taking off. Runs for 3, sliding down. Was pressured by Chauncey Davis. That's why he had to get out of there.
This is a case, if I was on that Falcons sideline, I might walk down right around the 30-yard line and find John Abraham and say, John, please go back in there. You're really good and I need you right now. But I know they got a rotation going. But there's a nice play by Chauncey Davis. Drew Brees wanted to take a shot. Chauncey got some quick penetration on the run.
They need pressure.
Pierre Thomas the back. And he's got it. And it looks like he's got a first down at 26.
Tremendous wing span. He's a great talent.
They were short of the first down. They went quick and get it with Thomas. And it's a little bit of that headiness and field generalship that you were talking about with Breeze. They saw they were short, wanted to keep the Falcon defensive personnel out there, so go quick and get the first down.
Every situation that comes up in a game, Sean Payton, Drew Brees, they're prepared for. They've been together so long, they're joined at the hip. They know exactly what each other is thinking. It's just a beautiful offense to watch.
And Jonathan Babineau slow to get up for the Falcons. Timeout under 5 minutes. The Saints leading by 7. Drew has a special connection with his grandfather, who served in World War II. And it's very close to the heart thing to be a part of this museum here in New Orleans. 2nd and 11 after the loss of 1. Breeze checking it. Good balance by Thomas to stay on his feet and be 3 yards shy of the first down. Thomas slow to get up.
Well, they come out with 3 tight ends. Send them all deep, and they throw a screen pass. Nice catch by Pierre Thomas away from his body. And look at the Falcon defense converge.
Mike Peterson coming in as the twist to Thomas's helmet. Going to catch Peterson flush as he gets spun around.
And Carl Nix with a nice block there on Vance Walker and allowed Pierre Thomas to get up the field. Just a little brush block. That's all you need. The speed and quickness of Pierre Thomas will get up the field.
Thomas added a little bit of strength and muscle this year. Of course, Deuce McAllister was here for a long time. Great runner in Saints history. Battled through so many injuries. He was let go by the Saints, didn't return, and now they've found a little bit more of a role for Thomas with his added strength.
One of his key 3rd downs for the Falcon defense. They need to get off the field.
Time for Drew. The pass incomplete for Bush. It was well covered. Stephen Nicholas over there in that part of the zone, and the Falcons again will force the Saints to punt.
Boy, this is a great down by Stephen Nicholas. They're going to run an option route to Reggie Bush. Colston clears it out. And that's a nice job by Nicholas staying with an outstanding receiver and undercutting it. And Drew Brees can't believe Reggie Bush got covered there by Stephen Nicholas.
That wasn't one of his better throws either, John.
Orsted to kick. Fair catch, Weems. Of a 44-yard punt. So the Atlanta Falcons guys have done everything they needed here in this 3rd quarter. They've held the Saints 3 drives, 2 of them a punt, 1 a missed field goal. They got a big play, and they've made it a 1-score game here with 18 minutes to go.
And they've taken the crowd out of the game. This place is now very quiet. The Falcons have the football. They're down by 7. The crowd is not into it. It's kind of calmed down. This is a good feeling right now if you're an Atlanta Falcon fan, as we saw Matty Ice come in the huddle. He was clapping his hands. He senses, hey, this is our opportunity. Let's get it going, guys. Little emotion right now from the Falcons quarterback.
From the 23, Turner to the side. Has some blockers over here. Just tripped up before he turned the corner by Tracy Porter. But a nice gain for Michael Turner. And that's one of the reasons they're playing well. They needed a running game tonight, and they're getting it from Turner.
Turner's done a really nice job of pressing the hole, staying with the point of attack. As you'll see here, he follows O.B. Mahaley, then bounces to the outside. Vilma can't make the play. He's not just running to the outside, he's setting up the outside cut. Very patient running right now by Michael Turner.
And all this tight end motion that the Falcons are using on offense is confusing the run fits of this Saint defense.
Second and short. Will Spitek just checked in at left tackle as Turner runs for the first down. Loss of 3, second sack of the night. Ryan, beautiful ball in stride. Jenkins, first down. Michael takes it to the 40. Pickup of 29.
Really important that Michael Jenkins gets re-involved in this offense. But an outstanding job of Matt Ryan stepping up in the pocket and throwing the ball on top of the linebacker underneath the safety. That's the perfect trajectory and location. Great throw.
Anticipation was critical there. Matty Ice dropped it in.
Will Smith out on the defensive line. Bobby McCray is the end on the defensive right. Ryan booting to his right. Gonna run it. Just gained a couple of yards. Final minute here, third quarter, and a little bit of drama building. This has all been about Breeze and the Saints. They'll hang with Indianapolis, be undefeated. 3 should win them games. Might see New England at 10-0 after Thanksgiving on a Monday night. Wait a minute. Mike Smith's guys, they know what Sean Payton's team is all about. Beat them tonight. You're only 1 game back, and New Orleans still has to come to your place. And the 12th man for the Saints will probably be more involved as this game stays tight in the fourth quarter. Good 15 minutes of football left. Left side, Turner. Good run. Different guy here tonight. First down, Turner.
He did a terrific job of setting up the block for Justin Blaylock, the pulling guard. Just a little change of pace. Patient running by Turner. You'll see the toss from Ryan. Blaylock gets to the outside. He just slowed down a little bit to allow Blaylock to get that block. Well executed. The block was put on Randall Gay. Excuse me, it was a Porter. Beautiful job right there, Turner, setting it.
Good football teams. Fourth quarter. Falcons trying to tie it. Ryan taking a shot for the end zone, and Gonzalez, the cornerback with him. Tracy Porter, step for step.
You know, one of the things that really impresses me about Mike Smith is his teams have never lost 2 games in a row. And that's a sign of an excellent coach and an outstanding team. You avenge a loss. Good football teams in this league don't have losing streaks. That's impressive.
Roddy White out, Marty Booker in at receivers, 2nd and 10. And a run with Turner to the left, squeezing through the hole there to get about 5 yards and make it a manageable 3rd and 5.
Oh, I love 97 power. Take a look at the double team. The right guard pull at the point of attack, and they are slamming it off the left side. The Saints are missing Cedric Ellis. They're a little light inside. I promise you, the Atlanta Falcons know how to run the ball. They like to run it, and Michael Turner is a tremendous back.
And they are fortunate tonight to have O.B. Mahaley back, as he is a fullback that can lead up in there on the 97 power with that right guard pulling around as John gets all excited right there. Look at O.B. coming on there. Michael Turner hitting it up in there, keeping this offense on schedule. 2nd and 10, pick up 6, put it in that 3rd and 4, where you have your whole playbook available.
Harvey Dahl, who's also pulling, was injured, 73, has to come out for a play. Brett Romberg is in at right guard. toss to the movement Weems. The speedster, Eric Weems, couldn't get to the corner. It was strung out well by the Saints defense. Vilma, Mitchell, all over there to make it 4th down. The 41-yard field goal attempt, they'll eschew that opportunity and go for it on 4th down.
Yeah, this is surprising here.
Yeah, quite surprising. Ryan's throw to Gonzalez keeps the drive alive. 1st down. The future Hall of Famer on the 4th down connection.
That is a courageous call by Mike Smith. He must have had a play that him and Mike Mularkey felt very comfortable with, getting Tony Gonzalez matched up. And they do. Roman Harper, the big body of Tony Gonzalez. Harper just can't match up. Terrific throw from Matty Ryan. Nice route by Tony Gonzalez on a gutsy call by Mike Smith to go for it on 4th down when they were in field goal range.
4 catches Gonzalez, all 1st down. From the 12, Turner. 3 to the 9.
How about the formation usage on this drive? There's 3 tight ends all bunched together. It's the same play they scored on earlier in the game. Watch Peel, the tight end. He'll come backside for the cutoff block right there. They are using an array of formations. They're keeping it in 3rd and regular. When they get in trouble, they're looking for their security blanket, Tony Gonzalez, to win them this game in the red zone.
Play 12 of a drive that started at the 23. And we have whistles killing this play. False start.
False start. Number 72 in the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
This is when you must play with tremendous discipline. There is no excuse. Yeah, the crowd's going crazy. You know, it's a wild place to play, but you must stay focused in these situations. The Falcons were not.
Breeze and the Saints shutout in this half. Been on the bench for about 5.5 minutes on the clock. Crowd a big factor here.
Got to hurry inside of 10 seconds.
Second down, they rush 4. Ryan clearing out of the backfield. Aaron Stecker, the former Saint, who played for the Buccaneers with you, John.
That's an old school pattern. When you have a guy like Tony Gonzalez running down the middle, if the linebacker sinks, you just drop the angle route off to a guy like Aaron Stecker. But the threat of Gonzalez deep lures the coverage, and you drop the ball off to a reliable receiving back. You set yourself up for another 3rd and short.
And Randall Gay in that backside linebacker position's got to lean and read that and come in and make the play.
3rd and 4, pressure comes. Ryan throws end zone. Is it caught? Yeah! Touchdown, Roddy White. A superb throw and catch and blitz pickup. An extra point from a tie game.
Mike, you wrapped it all up in that one sentence. Great throw, great catch, great protection.
Roddy White is a human vacuum cleaner tonight. How about this catch?
Wow.
Oh, they're going to replay that.
Was it? And will they throw the flag? Yeah, flag thrown by Sean Payton. The official looking right at him there and did not see that brief contact down on the ground.
New Orleans is challenging the ruling on the field of a completed pass and a touchdown.
28-27, but we believe it's pretty clear view of an incomplete pass. The ball hit the ground, and it will be 4th down. A lot of contact, too, with Jabari Greer. He may have missed pass interference in addition to missing the catch, no catch. A snap zoom there. You see that ball laying there on the ground without White having any control of that tip. See that hands off the ball. Jeff Triplett, the referee, has seen it.
After reviewing the play, the receiver does not catch the ball. It hits the ground. Therefore, it is an incomplete pass. It'll be 4th down. The clock is correct. New Orleans is not charged a timeout.
The field goal unit was on there for an extra point. They'll just back up a few yards and try a field goal here on 4th down.
Like, I was getting a little nervous about 5,000 people that are, like, ready to storm our booth. They want to know about that replay. They're happy now.
Jason Elam try to avoid the hat trick. He never had one in his long career.
It's a nice play by Sean Payton. He saw it. I've never seen Sean Payton run that fast.
No.
He got that flag out there in a hurry. That was a big call in that situation. To force this field goal.
You think veteran kickers can put a miss or two behind them. This guy's been doing it for 17 years, most of them with Denver. From 25. Knocks that one through. And it's 28-24. Here in New Orleans, where the Saints lead by 4 over the Falcons, it's been 10 second-half points for Atlanta. The offense has moved it. Mike Smith's defense has kept Drew Brees and company at bay here in this second half. Courtney Roby back to get Michael Canaan's kickoff. And a yard deep. Roby pinballed out to the 25 off the body of Jamal Fudge. Next week, the Steelers coming off a bye, rested and ready to roll. Head on out to the Rocky Mountains to see the Broncos, who lost for the first time against a very determined Ravens team yesterday. Brandon Marshall and company. And Invesco Field at Mile High, 8:30 Eastern, 6:30 Mountain. Out in Denver for Monday Night Football. Denver fell from the ranks of the unbeaten. Indianapolis still undefeated along with the Saints. The last two. From the 25, Breeze. On over to Devery Henderson for a first down gain of 8.
You know, this is the Saints quarter in the 2009 season, the 4th quarter. They've outscored their opponents 74-12 in the 4th quarter. That's coaching. That's playing. That's championship football. And we'll see if the Saints have it tonight. But that's unbelievable. A plus 62-point differential in the 4th quarter.
From the 33, Bell right. He apparently just shot of a first down. Nicholas with the tackle. Drew Brees has been so much part of that great season. 248 yards on 20 of 27 here tonight.
And 3rd down and short. Nobody is more aggressive calling plays in this situation than Sean Payton. They've run it the last 2 short yardage situations on 3rd down. I would not be surprised if they take a shot right here.
Get the first down, run it.
Trying to run to the right side. Falcons say the ball was out. I'm not sure if they're saying out. Yeah, the ball did come out. And we got to dig at the bottom of the pile now.
Well, the Falcons are very excited about their chance.
They got it off the bottom of the pile. Let's see. I haven't seen an official point yet. Atlanta ball. They've got it. Big turnover. Eric Coleman off the bottom with the ball. Ball clearly out. Dropped straight down there. I don't know how they came out of the bottom of it.
You'll see it here. This ball is out right there. It's on the ground. You get on the bottom of that pile, the strongest man wins. It looks like Pierre Thomas got it, but you just don't know.
You see that crawl under as Thomas had some space in there? They crawl in to try to get the ball?
New Orleans has challenged the ruling on the field of a fumble.
You know, sometimes you get in a short yardage situation, and you saw how shallow Pierre Thomas was to the line of scrimmage. They have a lot of different combinations of backs. And when you carry the football and you're 4.5 to 5 yards deep from the line of scrimmage, you don't see the cuts quite as well. But this is clearly a fumble.
Meantime here, we have the Saints challenging a 3rd and 1 where Pierre Thomas was carrying for the undefeated Saints. The ball was knocked out by Eric Coleman before his knee is down. New Orleans was challenging that ruling, and the fumble recovery
After reviewing the play,
by Atlanta.
the runner loses the ball before any body part hits the ground. It is a fumble. The ruling on the field is confirmed. New Orleans is charged in timeout. They're out of challenges.
And that's big, too. So for the next 8 minutes until the 2-minute mark, New Orleans will not be able to challenge because they've used 2 here in this second half. Meantime, the Falcons have wrestled momentum away from Drew Brees and the Saints. New Orleans was up 28-14 at the half, and this undefeated team has not gotten the offense going. Atlanta scored all 10 second-half points. We're sitting on 28-24, and Matt Ryan's team has a chance to take the lead at the 10-minute mark. So settle in. If you watch the baseball, we got a great finish here in New Orleans. Ryan first down to Michael Turner, who had a huge game, kept his feet going, has a first down, has more. That run typifies the night from Turner. 24 great yards.
Oh, Michael Turner, are you kidding me? 126 before that play?
It's another power play. Double teams. Pulling the backside guard down. And look at the grinding, churning engines by Michael Turner. That's big, unbelievable running by a big back.
Powerful, 244
I love that.
pounds. Nail it, John.
150 yards, his 4th biggest rushing game in the NFL. He gains a yard or so there. Again, the story with Turner, if you're just tuning in, 1,700 yards, a Pro Bowler last year. Remember, one of the reasons Matt Ryan came in as a rookie and did so well was because they had a great run game. Well, that hasn't been answering the bell so far for Atlanta, but is here tonight.
This Falcons offense has been on the field an awful lot this second half. They're wearing down the Saints defense, particularly with that power running game.
2nd and 9. Play action, Ryan throwing, and it's intercepted by Tracy Porter on the sideline. May have been tipped by Jonathan Vilma, but a huge turnover for the Saints. Story of their season.
I believe, like you, Mike, the ball was tipped.
He was going for Gonzalez.
Here it is right here. Jonathan Vilma goes way up. Oh, and he just took the steam off the ball. Misdirected it to the inside where Porter was waiting with his 3rd interception of the season. What a huge play by Jonathan Vilma, getting a hand on that football.
Great catch by Porter. Now, that guy was an outstanding punt returner at Indiana.
Yep.
He's got great ball skills.
Both turnovers, Ryan interceptions. One was taken for a touchdown earlier on by Jabari Greer. Saints take over inside their own 20. And a hard run by Mike Bell to the 24-yard line. We mentioned that big interception earlier on in the game. The Saints had just taken a 21-14 lead, and then Ryan intercepted by Jabari Greer. And the New Orleans Saints, only 6 games into the season, now 7, able to get to a franchise record-tying 5th pick-6 of the season. And now here down in the red zone, the other starting cornerback, Porter, comes up with the interception of Ryan. Brees throws back across his body, and almost a disaster for Drew as he was trying to go get Jeremy Shockey.
Well, that's uncharacteristic of Drew Brees. Got to be careful throwing the ball back against the grain into the middle of the field.
Wow, there were a lot of white jerseys back inside, and when the ball left Drew Brees' hand, I saw those jerseys converge. I think Drew got away with one there.
He had a great first half. We saw the stats. Not as good in the second half. What's different? What are they doing?
Well, I think it's been about pressure. You know, like any quarterback in this league, you get bodies around the quarterback, you're going to struggle. And again, they stopped the running game of the Saints as well.
Richie Bush in the game, 3rd and 5. Falcons rush 4. Brees' pass is incomplete. And that is, let's see, they get a flag. They do get a flag on the far side. The Falcons sideline. Doesn't like it. They're trying to say the ball was uncatchable.
Mike Peterson, number 53, is
Fire
hot.
the pass. Holding. Number 53 in the defense. 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
You know, you're in a no-back set, and Reggie Bush is lined up in the slot against Mike Peterson, and Bush is just going to get to the first down marker and turn around. I don't know, guys.
Wow. Yeah.
I don't like that.
Yeah, if that's holding, you can't play the game.
But again, the mismatch helps draw some of that. But I agree with you both. I agree with you both. From the 29, Bell, 2 to the 31-yard line. You know, one of the faults of the New Orleans offense, very prolific in the pass game. Breeze came close to breaking Dan Marino's passing yardage record last year. Just really one pass away, essentially. They couldn't run the ball. Story this year is they've been able to run the ball effectively and salt away leads. Now what can they do tonight with a 4-point lead, half a quarter to go? Let's see if this confusion screws things up. Breeze takes a shot downfield, and it's caught as Colston gets spilled, but holds on for the first down. We should all be so confused.
Well, you talk about taking a shot. The shot is you got an outstanding beast wide receiver, John, that you like to call Marcus Colston.
But you see Grimes, he's bending to the inside. He's got 2 receivers running vertical. He tries to midpoint the 2 of them, and Drew Brees knew exactly where to throw this football.
High into the outside, under duress. That's a big-time play from a quarterback that trusts his big-time wide receiver, Marcus Colston.
Play clock running down. Breeze gets the play off. Bell to the right. Gets to the 36, tackled by Curtis Lofton, their star middle linebacker. Around 6 minutes. Really essential. Atlanta holds them to 3 at most here.
And I was at training camp, as I said earlier, with these Saints. And they took their running game, which had about 3,000 runs last year, and they really congested it. They have very few runs now in their game plan, and they're better at them. They're more physical, they're more detailed, and they like running the ball. This offensive line loves the commitment that Sean Payton, offensive line coach Aaron Kromer, have brought to this offense.
2nd and 6. Breeze throwing for Shockey. What a grab. Shockey inside the 20. First down. Everybody's catching.
Well, one of the few times Drew Brees was a little bit off target with his throw on the full outright to Jeremy Shockey. Shockey comes up with a big catch, comes in motion to get the free release, the throw back to the inside, but he was going to the outside. And look at the athleticism of Jeremy Shockey to come down with that football.
You know, 4 Pro Bowls in 6 years in New York. He was hurt last year. He's healthy now. He understands this offense.
And he's with the program.
Yeah, he's pretty good, isn't he?
In the red zone, essential stop for the Falcons. Thomas inside to the 15-yard line. Atlanta's red zone defense is very good. They're 3rd in the NFL, and that's a bunch of stats. John, you coached against Mike Smith's team last year. Why are they a good red zone team?
They don't play a lot of different coverages, and they know how the offenses are going to attack against them, and they work hard on it, the problem plays, and they're very, very disciplined. But they practice red zone defense on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. They understand the weaknesses of each coverage, and they really work hard on their problem plays.
It's a must here as we get toward 4 minutes. Breeze throwing complete to Colston. He's got a first down in his forward progress. It'll be 1st and goal, and that'll cost him about a minute and a half on the clock. So you got to be careful here, guys, so nobody gets a flag. And you're wasting time. The clock continues to run.
You know, when you got a guy that has that kind of size, Colston, you can throw the ball up to him on the outside. He can beat tight man-to-man coverage. You can throw this 6'4" guy the ball into the land of giants, and he'll get the first down, and he will rock you after the catch and get the first down. People at home, we got to take notes of Marcus Colston, get him into the Pro Bowl.
First and goal, Thomas up the middle. Timeout Atlanta. 5 minutes and 15 seconds, 74 yards, and a second and goal. Breeze, Henderson, stopped at the 1. Every tackle by Brent Grimes. Atlanta uses another timeout at 3:09.
This is the exact same play Breeze audible to last week against the Miami Dolphins. He's going to get Colston to the corner. That's where he wants to go with the football. And if he can't have him, he's going to take the quick out to Henderson on the outside. But he audibled to a maximum protection. He moved the pocket. He knew exactly what the coverage was. Fine execution by the entire offensive team.
Yeah, that's too easy, John. You got Grimes playing 6 yards off there from the 7-yard line. That's a gimme. Tighten it up.
Well, at the top of this broadcast, we talked about Breeze, the headiness, the preparation, the work ethic that he puts in on Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, behind the scenes. That's what allows you to do this. And you couple that with a coach like Sean Payton, who is a preparation freak now. He's an extremist when it comes to getting his offense ready to play. And I've never seen a team have more walkthroughs and more reps than the New Orleans Saints.
Well, here we go, guys. Third and goal from the 1, and this play could decide how competitive the last few minutes we have. Their fullback Heath Evans is out on injured reserve. 3 tight ends are in the game, and Breeze will throw for it, swing it with Thomas, who gets in. Touchdown.
This is a play where Sean Payton knew exactly what the Atlanta Falcons were going to be in. It's man-to-man coverage. You're going to see John Stinchcomb. He bluffs the defensive end. He gets out on the perimeter and blocks the linebacker who's covering Pierre Thomas. That tackle pick screen is legendary here in the Bayou State, isn't it, John?
Oh, you just
I love that play.
Big old hoss out in front and an athletic running back, and that equates to a Saints touchdown.
And John Carney gives New Orleans an 11-point lead. What a drive. 11 plays, 81 yards, 5.5 minutes. Breeze 4 of 5 on the drive, and the Saints lead 35-24. 4 80-plus yard drives engineered by Drew Brees in this really spread it around offense. Everybody gets involved, and all these folks are loving every second of it.
And the athleticism of John Stinchcomb on the perimeter, a big guy to be able to run on the edge. How about that effort? You think it's important to Pierre Thomas?
Remember, Reggie Bush had the touchdown where he took off from the 6 last week in Miami. This is 4.5 yards less, but still impressive.
Must be the mouthpieces these guys are wearing. I'm telling you, that's another story in itself.
We'll get to that, I'm sure. The mouthpiece.
Well, Thomas, who fumbled earlier, atones for it in a big way. Here's Weems with the kickoff return. Eric trying to give his team as much room as they can. Gets out to the 34-yard line.
Falcons really got to be quick. Got to try to get 2 or 3, at least 3 plays off before the 2-minute.
And do remember, you need a field goal at some point here. So just get yourself something to keep the game alive. 34, there go the safeties bailing out after showing pressure. Gonzalez off his hands, and Derek Sharper nearly had an interception. Incomplete pass. Sharper, who has 6 this year, 60 in his career, almost snared another one.
3-man rush. 8 guys back here in coverage. And they're trying to disrupt Gonzalez. And that's tight coverage. Tip passes in the middle of the field. That's an accident waiting to happen right there, Ron.
And Matt Ryan is getting really focused on Tony Gonzalez, and the Saints defense knows that. He's got to start distributing the football to his other receivers.
Saints bring 6. Ryan throws complete to Gonzalez. Good job by Roman Harper in the open field to keep it from extending the game.
And Greg Williams mixing it up on defense. That time he blitzed. He's mixing a 3-man rush, a 4-man rush with all kind of creative pressures.
Ryan looking for space to step up and throw as to step up and run and see if they can squeeze off one more play before the 2.
And Bobby McCray got off on that snap, anticipated that count, and wow, what a jump he had.
We'll get one in here. You can use the whole field with the 2-minute warning coming up. Had it knocked out of his hand from behind. It has not been ruled an incomplete pass. It's a recovery here by the Saints. What they're going to have to do, Atlanta's going to have to use a challenge to go look at it because it happens on a snap before the 2-minute warning.
And Will Smith once again working against Sam Baker on the left side. Here he comes. Matt Ryan's got to step up in the pocket. That is a fumble. A tuck rule isn't a tuck rule.
I don't think it's going to be a fumble.
No, he still had that ball in his hand as it was coming forward.
I think it might be a tuck rule.
Atlanta is challenging the ruling on the field of a fumble.
We'll be back here at the end of this month when they play the Patriots. Now, Jeff Triplett is looking at this play. Will Smith came around the end. Matt Ryan's arm, as it's coming forward, still has the ball there.
He's trying to throw a pass. The arm is going forward. It is an incomplete pass. The ball's not out of his hand. It's not an open hand.
Well, you guys figure it out. I'll just say this.
You're the genius on
Will Smith has been a dominant pass rusher tonight.
He's got a couple of sacks and hits on the quarterback here tonight. You know, you hear the fans as Jeff Triplett's looking at this in replay. A word about these fans, the connection between the Saints and New Orleans. Look, every city loves its team. It's very special here. And these fans have reveled in every second of this 6-0.
After reviewing the play, the passer has the ball in his hand in control when his arm is moving forward, and it comes loose when hit. So therefore, it is an incomplete pass. It'll be second down. Please reset the game clock to 1:59. 1:59. Atlanta is not charged a timeout. This will be the 2-minute warning.
John, you still disagree?
Yeah, I disagree. I think it's a sack. You know, all these rules, you got to hire a lawyer to go to a football game sometimes. Any Christmas.
And a call never went in your favor, right?
Yeah, I want all the calls. I want everybody to agree with me.
There you go. Say no more.
Hey, it's tough. These guys got an almost impossible job. There are so many rules and so much at stake. They want to get every call right. I pity the officials. It's got to be as hard a job as there is.
You want to take my rule book home this week? 132 pages of light reading. All right, so listen, here's the deal. We're inside the 2-minute warning, so all replays will happen upstairs now. The Falcons retain that timeout. They have one left, so they are still alive in this game, needing the 2 scores. And the point I started to make about the fans, I'd love to get back to, you know, in college, when the team wins, like at the end of the year, people go out to the airport and cheer them. You know, these fans after the Miami comeback last week, scores of fans were out at the airport to greet the Saints when they came home. It's that love affair and passion that is very unique between this city and this team, and we've seen it over the years, and it's as good as strong as it's ever been. Week 6. Ryan White. Did he catch him with a second foot inbounds? No. 1 foot in, and there's no more force-out rule in the NFL the last 2 years. Incomplete pass, Sharper pushed it.
Boy, Darren Sharper, he disguised the blitz, and he comes out of nowhere to get 2 hands on Roddy White and knock him out of bounds before he can get that second foot in Darren Sharper's playing like a rookie again here in New Orleans. Making plays as a half-field defender. He can cover, he can blitz. And we all know he's just waiting to intercept another pass.
Well, he's a ball hawk. Has 6 interceptions, returned 3 for touchdowns this season.
Third down, pressure off the edge is picked up. Ryan's pass for Jenkins is incomplete. And the Falcons are down to 1 play.
That was an outstanding job of coverage by the New Orleans secondary. It was Tracy Porter underneath and Darren Sharper over the top. That back shoulder throw was not available to Matt Ryan.
I really like these 2 corners here in New Orleans. Tracy Porter, Jabari Greer. They can play man-to-man coverage, zone coverage. They can do it all.
4th down. Rushing 3, dropping 8. Got to hit it to keep the game alive. The party begins in New Orleans. Atlanta will be 4-3. Lose back-to-back games for the first time in the Mike Smith, Matt Ryan era. They have Washington at Carolina coming up the next few weeks. And 3 of their next 4 games are against, although Carolina's bounced back here, against teams that are not in the elite in the league, with Washington, Carolina, and Tampa. The Giants are in there as well, so they could be looking at 7-4. Minute 42, 1 Atlanta timeout remaining. Run with Bell, and Mike Smith will use his final timeout with 1:37 to go.
Well, the Saints came in this game tonight undefeated at home on a roll, and they had all they could handle from the Atlanta Falcons. A valiant effort by the Falcons, but it's going to come up short.
You see, Jonathan Goodwin, the center, was injured there on that play. And Atlanta called the timeout. And you may have heard a couple of players yelling at him to get up. Because if you have an injury on your side, then that will get a timeout charged to you and not to Atlanta and extend the game a bit.
And Drew Brees immediately runs over the sideline. You know why? He's going to have a new center. Jamar Nesbitt's going to come in at center. He's taking snaps.
You know what? Due to the injury, inside of 2 minutes.
You see David Thomas, his own player, as Stephen Nicholas was coming back. And it's not just this one timeout thing. It's a longer deal, too. You hope that he's okay.
You know, one thing we go back to is this love affair between the Saints and their fans. This hurricane was awful. It was just terrible. And I remember sitting in my office, and I saw a local reverend here talking to thousands of people in the streets. We have no food. We have no water. We have no shelter. But we have the New Orleans Saints. And the chills and the screams and the fans, the way that they came together when they opened up that 06 season, that contagious enthusiasm hasn't left here. The Saints 7-0 if they win this thing, which I think they will. Look at their schedule, guys. I'm not going to go back and tell you I picked them to go to the Super Bowl, but I did. It's in ESPN, the magazine, by the way. I don't know if they're going to lose another game.
Yeah, you know, something like this is bigger. At the end of the game, a guy goes down, an offensive lineman, Jonathan Goodwin, center, very important part of this team. It's one of those where you won't know for a while the severity of this injury, but that's one huge part of a great run is staying healthy. Think about the Patriots of 2 years ago. So many of their key players stayed healthy.
No question, and Goodwin has really stepped up and played well here. Remember, Jeff Fain was a great center, and he went to Tampa, and here comes Goodwin out of nowhere, has really been a key element with all the signals that he calls. They can't afford to lose him. Hope he's all right.
Boy, that battery, as you always like to say, John, between the center and the quarterback, so important. You lose the guy that you're comfortable with. Oh, that's a big loss.
1:37 and 1 timeout. You can't just take a knee and run the clock out. You'd have a few seconds left at the back end. So Need to run a play here. Bell was tackled, and timeout now taken by the Falcons with 1:31 remaining. It's 3rd and 10 with 1:31 to go.
Who wound you up, John?
Bell's got to put 2 hands on that ball as he's flying out of there. They try to pull the ball out, and let's see, did they? They did. They did. He was running with 1 hand on the ball, and I have no idea why Coy Wire pulled it away. That is unbelievable.
No, that is, I mean, you know, you can have a miracle of the Meadowlands here.
Right there, right?
Yeah.
And then Coy Wire comes on in there, and they pull the ball out before a knee goes down.
Well, you've got no timeouts left. You've got 1:20 to go.
Hey,
23 to go. You've got an outstanding kicker. Remember, a field goal keeps you in this football game. Obviously, you want a touchdown.
Review upstairs.
Ruling on the previous play.
but you have got to wrap the football up. The yardage is almost meaningless. It is meaningless at this point in the game. You don't need to turn the ball over.
And again, you're at the point in the game where you cannot just take a knee to end the game. You need to run time off the clock, and 2 knees still would have given Atlanta the ball down there.
Yeah, a punt would be okay here,
right?
Mike.
It's exactly right. And
There's
delay a
nothing wrong
game
with
and
a punt. Yeah,
max the timeout. It'd be very hard for the officials to see in there if the knee is down. But you know, as the ball was coming out there, it looked like Wire had his arms on it, starting to wrestle it free. As you look at that pile, I don't even know if Bell's legs have ever gotten to the ground because of the pile of humanity. You're laying on another body. You're not down by contact.
well, from that angle, it looked like a fumble. It's going to be Atlanta football with $1:23 to go here in the 4th quarter. Down by 11. They still have life. Crazier things have happened in the National Football League.
There's only 19 seconds of that possession, and give credit to Wire.
You know,
not
though,
giving up.
it goes back to what Mike Smith told us yesterday, the kind of players that he looks for in Atlanta. He wants football character guys. He wants guys that compete, team-oriented people. And that's just a case right there where you're finishing. And you know how important that is, Ron. You fight till the end. You never, ever give up under Mike Smith. Those are the kind of players that he's finding, and that's the effort that you see on the field. It's a credit to him.
You know, John, I totally agree. I was involved with the miracle of the Meadowlands when Joe Pisarcik handed off to Larry Zonka, and Zonka didn't expect the football. The only reason they tried to run a play, because the play before, they had taken a knee. But Frank Lemaster, our linebacker, come in and took a shot at somebody. So all of a sudden, the offensive lineman, John, said, hey, let's go and block somebody. So they ran a play for retribution to get back after Frank Lemaster. It cost them a football game because we played hard to the end.
After review, the ruling on the field stands.
And credit Wire. He's not a starter. He's a special teams guy. 6 years in Buffalo, a couple of years here with Atlanta. Out of Stanford.
Looks
Just
like
trying to give his team a chance. So 1:23, no timeouts for Matt Ryan. And Balin covering with 8 in the secondary. Ryan will buy some time and roll and throw to Gonzalez at the 40. 1:11 left.
Going to kill it. He's going to spike it and stop the clock. Now you need to dial up some special plays. You've got to dial up some plays that allow you to push the ball or quickly get an outlet towards the sideline where you can stop the clock. Very important. You try to push it and work the sideline area so you can stop this clock.
Again, they'll drop 8 in coverage. Ryan has nobody breaking open. He's trying to buy some time here. Sideline shot, out of bounds, incomplete rule. Jenkins. 54 seconds left.
Once again, they need 2 scores. So they could be trying to get in field goal range.
Sure.
Get the onside kick, and then try to throw your Hail Mary to recover the onside kick. But they've got to get in position to get the field goal. You'll see Jenkins. Wow, that was very, very close to a catch.
It's on the
Close
official.
enough to stop it. Close enough to stop it.
Absolutely, yeah.
Why wouldn't we have our 5th challenge of the night?
Previous ruling.
Who's counting? John.
This is getting close to a record. The fans hate it. The fans, they don't like it. It just disrupts the flow of the game, but the referees, once again, they're doing what they're asked to do, what they're required to do.
These are the rules. They have to look at it in the last 2 minutes. You see Michael Jenkins, toes on the sideline. I believe that's catch.
It's catch, yep. It's catch. Just
so that
make sure he goes down to the ground, maintains possession of the ball. It doesn't come out as he rolls over. Yes.
What a throw and a catch. I hate to not give it to the guys.
Well, you know, John.
I mean, it's the talent of these players is amazing. There's 2 feet in and ball in hand. Got to be a catch.
And you know, John, every day in practice, every day in the offseason, training camp, mini camp, you work on dancing on that side. Like your quarterback throwing it wide. You never know when it's going to pay off. In a situation like this, Michael Jenkins was prepared.
Guarantee it. Terry Robisky, the receiver coach of the Falcons, you know he's been working hard with Michael Jenkins. They need that guy towards the second half of the season because he's big and he's had some excellent seasons. He had almost 800 yards last year.
That's a game that's going to get them in field goal range too, guys.
Sure. Yeah.
With 54 seconds left.
And if you're on the Saints sideline, your special teams coach, I guarantee he's moving up and down the sidelines, getting the hands team ready.
Sure.
Talking about all the scenarios. There's a lot of strategy going on these 2 sidelines right now. But time is the enemy. That's the #1 issue for Atlanta right now. How much time do we want to spend, Ron, trying to get 7?
And Michael Kanan, the kickoff specialist and punter, is practicing his onside kicks. Now let's go back and see where that ball would be. It's between the 20 and the 25-yard, right about the 23-yard line, if it is ruled a catch. From there, you're talking about a 41-yard field goal. Elam has missed twice from 34 and 51 tonight.
But you think touchdown first.
After reviewing the play, the receiver catches the ball with 2 feet down inbounds, 2 toes down inbounds. It is a catch. 1st and 10 on the 23-yard line, Atlanta.
The other 8 toes weren't there, but 2 toes were.
That's all
one on each side. First down.
Well, the key is at the 23-yard line now.
Yep.
You can start taking your shots to the end zone.
But you still keep going touchdown here. You don't try to kick a field goal and then try to extend the game with time for the onside kick.
Well, much easier if you score the touchdown. Then you need the 3 to get in position to kick the field goal and not need the touchdown.
Yep. Some fans have hit Bourbon Street. The others are still trying to support their Saints. Ryan can't take a sack here.
So one thing you don't want to do, the clock will not stop.
Anthony Hargrove, as Will Smith's pressure forced him in for the Hargrove sack. Ryan kills it with 37 seconds left.
It's going to be a tough throw. Matt Ryan's going to have to make a tough throw. Receivers aren't going to run wide open. The ball's got to come out of his hand.
Now, we've had a lot of good performances on Monday Night Football, some great ones, but Will Smith, to be rushing the passer with this kind of success and this kind of effort this late in the game, that's a credit to the conditioning of Will Smith. He hasn't been in this kind of shape. I've not seen him play this well in 5 years.
Probably wearing the mouthpiece.
Four come out of the backfield, complete to Mahele. Or rather, for Ron Haynes, I beg your pardon. Yeah, he'll kick the field goal. Just get it closer. So the field goal will be 39, 40 yards. And try to make it an 8-point game. It's Elam, who is tied with the Saints' great Tom Dempsey for the longest field goal in NFL history, a 63-yarder. To keep the game alive from 40. And he gets that. He takes it inside of a double-digit margin. Now an 8-point game.
That's good football right there. turnover in the 4-minute drill from your defense. You exhaust about 50 seconds. You go down and get the first score, which is a field goal. And now you got a guy like Tony Gonzalez, Roddy White. Who knows who they'll put on this onside kickoff team to run down the field, jump up in the air, and try to find a bad hop.
Well, you got guys, throw in a Finneran at 6'5", Jenkins at 6'4", Tony Gonzalez at 6'5". It's going to be that pop-up kick. It's going to be a big jump ball.
I think they're going to set up Michael Jenkins into the left side of this formation. They're going to have a couple big guys try to blow up a couple of the frontline Saints and hope that Michael Jenkins can jump up and catch this ball and save the Atlanta Falcons.
19% is the rate of recovery of onside kicks in these situations, not the surprise ones, the ones that are expected.
There's Jenkins.
Yep, you have the 3 guys outside the numbers. They're going to bunch to either side to keep the Saints from figuring out where they're going. Wait, timeout taken. Timeout taken by New Orleans. So Sean Payton used the timeout, much like the freezing the field goal kicker. Wanted to see what they were going to do. And what they were going to do was throw the 8 guys on the side and go with the 3 in the middle.
Brilliant call by Sean. Brilliant call.
Well, they've got 2 big receivers, one on each side of this formation. You're going to see Michael Jenkins up at the top, and you're going to see Finneran down here at the bottom, and you're going to see 3 Falcons right there. And they're going to read the deployment of the New Orleans Saints. And you see there's only 2 guys in the middle of the field.
Yep.
Let's take our chances. 3 against 2. What a nice creative onside kick.
Now, as Sean Payton called the time, do you come back with the same thing?
I'm coming back.
Yes.
Now it's 3-on-3 inside. They're going to take a shot up top. They're working Jenkins at the top of the screen. Right up here, they're going to work.
And there you go. And there's the it's free. Let's see at the bottom of the pile. It didn't go 10 yards, but hit a Saint. So it's eligible to be recovered by the Falcons. The official took down one of the players in the scrum off the screen. What's most important is that scrum. Guys diving in here. What a mess. Still no idea who's got the ball. Listen to him. Wow, look at this, guys. They're saying wire 52 has it down there. The line judge is in there trying to dive him off the pile.
I've never seen this.
This is unbelievable. Mike Spanier, the line judge, is the one in there with the players. Wire's got his hands on it, guys. Let's see. What do we got? Any signal yet?
Falcons offense is on the field.
They never signaled, and the Falcons do have the ball. They were all too tired to signal, so Atlanta has recovered the onside kick. Unbelievable stuff.
Ball short hop.
David Thomas
right there. And you see the wedge get blown up. The ball's kicked off. What a play.
And it's the same guy who caused the fumble earlier, Coy Wire. What a job.
26 seconds left. They need a touchdown.
Great design.
Remember, this New Orleans-Atlanta series in 1978 gave you the Big Ben play that Steve Bartkowski threw. There have been big moments in this series in the past. Ryan loading, fires. They have no timeouts. That's caught. They're going to have to clock it at midfield. Caught by Michael Jenkins. Maybe they'll get 11 seconds left. Exactly 11.
Well, now they're in a position to throw it to the end zone. They're back there at the 35. Matt Ryan doesn't have the arm to get it to the end zone. He now has the opportunity to throw this ball in the end zone with the Big Ben, which is what the Falcons called it back when Steve Bartkowski was playing quarterback, or the Hail Mary right here. But they will throw this one to the end zone.
I think you have to with no timeouts left. And remember, I have never seen offensive pass interference called on this play. Put it up, give your big receivers a chance, and attack the ball.
3 Saints back at the 20-yard line. 3 Atlanta receivers in the pattern. Shot down the field. Sharper up, and Darren Sharper, 9th in the league with 61 career interceptions. brings this wild one to a close.
The problem was Matt Ryan needed to move around a little bit, buy a little time for his receivers to get deeper down the field. There was pressure on Ryan. He threw it up prematurely. Darren Sharper in great position to make his 7th interception of the season.
And they only had a couple guys out in the route. You're going to see the 2 receivers here on the right side of the screen. They chose to keep some protection in. He's just trying to pop it up to Roddy White. You saw Jenkins coming from the far side of the formation, but Roddy White never really had a chance. I don't know that he even looked for the ball. And Sharper, what a finisher he is.
Well, and the ball never got to the end zone. That was the key. You needed to get that ball in the end zone, not the 5-yard line.
It took a while, but the Saints win. And they are 7-0, joining Indianapolis as the only 2 undefeated teams in the NFL.